Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Goodreads as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you had a wonderful week since I last podcasted. Thank you so much to everyone for all the kind words and the sweet things that you said about my husband coming on the podcast. It was very nice to get comments that we're an adorable couple. It was definitely fun having him on, and I am trying to convince him to come on once a month with a Doctor Who scarf update since he was on, and he said he was going to do, was it 10 rows a night, I think? He has done 4 rows the whole week. So he's fallen a little bit behind, and he said that maybe it'll be done for 2017, but I am going to try to get him to come on. And so I was telling him that probably when he'd get like a renewed vigor whenever he changed stripes, changed colors, because that always, I think people love that when you change a new color, like, oh, I'm gonna knit some more, and he's kind of in the middle of one of the biggest gray stripes, so he's, kind of slowed down with that. But I wanted to mention something because I've gotten a ton of questions and comments in the last couple of weeks about this, and Baby Boxer Mom started a thread asking about it, and I know Jill Serenity showed on Instagram that she had been enabled and gotten one of these and liked it. My friend Summer got one. But it's my David's iced tea thing that I got for Mother's Day. My husband gave it to me, and it doesn't have the ice in it yet. And then this, so it goes in and it just pushes down. Now they are pretty hard to separate, but it's doable. It's hard, which makes sense because you want it to have a good barrier between your thing so that the tea doesn't all spill out when you're drinking it. But I am having something that my friend Erin, who owns Bling Your String, gave me, and it's the Luxe Berry Tea, and this is blueberries and cream, and it was Erin's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday yesterday, Erin. And it looks like she had an awesome one because she got to go yarn crawling, which always would mean with a friend Tiffany, and that would always mean a wonderful birthday for us yarny people. Love to go get yarn crawling or getting yarn with friends, I know. And so yeah, it's really good. And the iced tea thing is kind of a necessity when you live somewhere where it's so hot. I'm already dreaming of autumn and when it will cool down a bit. But so anyways, finished objects. I finished my blueberry waffle socks, and this is I've been using up my oldest stash. I'm well on my way towards my goal of finishing up all my yarn that was before 2015 by the end of the year. It also helps when you haven't bought yarn in months and months. Your stash, if you had a small one to begin with, it depletes rather quickly. But this is one of my go-to patterns for variegated yarn. The blueberry waffle, the monkey, and then the Hermione's everyday one. Everyday socks are ones that I have knit bunch of times. And just to show you, I do have 2, but I cannot find my second sock blocker. I suspect that my daughter has taken it off somewhere. And that's my socks. Oh, and the yarn, I forgot to tell you, was a Loopy Ewe Legends. I got it, I think, the second year I participated in Camp Loopy. I've only done it 2 years, I believe. This was the prize, I think, was a skein of yarn, and you got to pick one of the different ones, and I picked this one. And I just love it. The blueberry waffle pattern makes such squishy socks, and they always seem to fit because they have such wonderful ribbing. And then the next thing I finished is for my friend, who she might know it's for her, but she might not. And it is my Pure Joy shawl. And is that backwards? No. I think, yeah, okay, sorry. But this, all the ends are woven in, but it has not been blocked, but I'm not going to block it. So what I'm going to do for this, because I want it to maintain its garter stitch loveliness, is I'm going to wash it, but then I'm going to drain out the water with it bunched all together and let it dry. I'm not even going to lie flat to dry. I might lie it flat once it's almost dry, but not when it's wet, because that kind of stretches out the yarn and makes it to where it loses all that squishiness. So I'm just going to take it from the bowl and bring out all the water and leave it in there and kind of like turn it around so that it dries on different sides, but I'm not going to lay flat to dry because I want it to be this wonderfully squishiness. And the orange is some Sun Valley fibers. And this gorgeous speckled color is some Texas dyed wool. And it has white and turquoise and orange in it. And this, I can't decide if, since my friend does live somewhere where it's colder, so she could get use out of this, I don't know if I should make it as a Christmas present, but I really just want it to be like a thank you for bringing joy into my life, the pure joy. So cheesy, but I love those kind of name matching things. But yeah, and this, I think I knit it in about 14 days, but it was such a wonderful just comfort knitting that I probably could have done it in under a week, but we had company, so I only knit, some of those days that we had my in-laws here, I only knit like a row a day. And yeah, and my in-laws left on Wednesday, and so I've been kind of returned to my normal knitting now, so have a lot more to show you than I did last week, because normally at night my husband and I will watch a show together, like Sherlock, or we'll watch a documentary together, and I will knit. But when his parents were here, we just did board games, and it's hard to knit between board games for me. I hate picking up and putting down constantly. So then, since the Pure Joy was done, I got to pick up my Doodler because Baby Boxer Mom is awesome, and I've already sent the skein back your way, so it should be getting to you very shortly. And I got to pick this back up because I had my help succeeding against the yarn chicken that tried to take me down. So this is the Doodler, and I have it in a wonderful Girl So Sheepy bag. I love her bags. This is just such a cheerful bag. And then, when you last saw this, oops, okay, so it's, since I'm doing the cabled part, it's kind of in the middle of the needle. I'm going to make sure I don't drop that off on the podcast. But I was over on this part, and so I finished the short rows, and then I went all the way back across with the blue, and I started the cable part. So I got that much done. Start over here, or sorry, right here. Did the cable, and I just have to go all the way across here with the cable. And I can't tell you, it was so wonderful because as soon as I finished the Pure Joy, I started on this, and the last rows on the Pure Joy are almost 400 stitches per row. So to go from 400 stitches a row, or like $3.99 or something, to 20 stitches per row, it felt so refreshing. It's like, oh, this is going so fast. And the yarns I'm using for the Doodler are some I Love Cake by the Lemonade Shop, which is just this is such a fun shawl. I'm really enjoying the fun colors. And then I'm using some Sun Valley fibers. And then my other color that I haven't joined in yet, and it will be the border part, is one of my absolute favorite. This is Fiber Addiction, and this is Not All Who Wander, and it's this beautiful white and pink and blue with these pops of green. It's just gorgeous, and I'm so excited to see how it knits up in the border for this. So that's my Doodler shawl. I've been very into Stephen West shawls right now. I was looking through some of his, because I had a lot in my favorites and my queue that I wanted to knit, and so I've been exploring all his shawls and revisiting ones that I've wanted to knit for a while but haven't, and trying to like look through my stash and be like, okay, what could I use to knit this? And then another thing, in my Bags by Awesome Granny, my Llama or Llama bag, I have my best friend's sweater, and this is for the Justina Lorikowska knit along, and it's the Cloud Bay, I believe, and I'm knitting it out of some Knit Picks Capra DK that I got on sale last year. because my best friend asked me for a cashmere sweater, and I think she had no idea like how much an actual cashmere sweater would cost. So the Capra has a tiny bit of cashmere in it, so hopefully it's soft enough so she won't know. But this is from my best friend for Christmas, and I have a whole bunch of markers in here. This one actually came with the Girls So Sheepy. It has a little fairy tale story house. And then I have my retro rosy star ones that I love in various shades of purple and pinks. And then this is where I was last time. Little sweater one that was given to me by Mina. And so I just picked this up Wednesday evening after my in-laws had left. And I did probably 2 inches, so not very much. And the rows are getting larger because of the raglan increases. And then I have this, which is a little J Studio. It's a strawberry popsicle, and I'm moving it up to show me where to do the increases, because the raglan increases are done at a certain time, and then there's other increases for the front band at a different time, so I didn't want to forget. So that's there to remind me, and I just move it up whenever I do one. And it's very soft, and it's very white. So my best friend wears predominantly white, so hope she'll love that, and I'm excited to give it to her for Christmas because I think she's just going to be blown away. I've never made anything. No, I have. I did make her a sweater. Oh, gosh. I think I'd been knitting for 2 years, and now I've been knitting for 8 or 9 or 10. I can't remember, but it was early on in my knitting. I knit her a very simple raglan sweater in a beige, which was her color at the time that she was wearing it. She likes neutrals a lot. So, yeah. It's in my Bags by Awesome Granny bag. And then I have 2 new cast-ons that I started this week. And the one is just a tiny wee toe. And it is in my Diana Couture. I left the tag on there. My son's like, why are you leaving the tag on? I said, so I can show people. But this is it. And I just love this so much. I took it around some this week. And I also am convinced the next time I fly, this is perfect for flying, because you could just, it becomes undone, unsnaps, and you could just snap it onto your purse for while you're walking around the airport, or your carry-on. And in here, I went and picked up my next oldest skein of self-striping. It just feels so good to be getting through my stash. And this I got a couple years ago, and I think I got it from Simply Sock Yarn or the Loopy Ewe, I don't remember. But it is some biscotte and C. I know it's in French, and right now my brain is not working. But it is the Felix base and is Conte de Fille. And it's a beautiful color. And thank you to everyone who wrote me about this yarn. I had no idea, but it's my next oldest, so I wanted to use it up, and I'm pretty laid back, so I think it'll be fine. If it's not, then that'll be cool, but I am loving the colors so much. Just the tiniest little toe, you can't really see. But there's the blue and the black and then the pink. That's what it looks like. Yes, it doesn't come like this. It was, hand wound because I don't know, I just love seeing it like this. It's so pretty. Tiny, tiny little toe. And I believe that she's a Canadian dyer, so it counts for all the wonderful Canadian knitting things, for all the different people that are doing the Canadian one. And let's see. Then the next thing I have is in a You So and So bag that I absolutely love. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I don't know if I've ever used it. I got it forever ago, and I think the beginning of 2015, and I just absolutely love it. It reminds me, it's very reminiscent to me of a medieval tapestry because the color is very subdued. It's like this very light sage green. And then the way that the animals are drawn Just very reminiscent of a medieval tapestry. I just find it absolutely beautiful. And it even has a squirrel, little squirrel marker there. Her print selection slays me. She always has awesome print, and the inside is a pocket, but it's this kind of reverse. It's white and green, and it's animals. But in here is my test knit for yarn poetry. And I tried to cast this on a lot of times. Apparently, don't try to cast on things when you're doing things with your kids, because you can't count, or I can't count when I was doing that. So I had cast it on, I was knitting the pattern, and I was like, why isn't it matching up? And then I would pull it out, and then I stopped, and I was like, okay, we're going to count through the stitches, and we're going to count through the stitches twice, so that we know for sure, and then maybe we'll have somebody else count through the stitches too, just for extra assurance. And I did that, and I finally got it right, and then I've started this. It's very tiny, and I feel that I might be the worst test knitter on the face of the planet, because I should have started this a long time ago, and I haven't, just because I'm very bad at, like, if I know, like, okay, you need to do this, I'm very bad at, like, okay, sitting down and actually doing it. But this gorgeously stunning yarn, look at that. This is just, it's purple, different shades of purples and browns, and it's got this amazing sheen on it. I don't know if you can see that. Amazing sheen. Oh, look at that. It's so beautiful. And it is a BFL silk, and this is when I talked a while ago about yarns that you collect. This is one of the yarns that I kind of have a collection of. I think I may have like 3 or 4 skeins of hers, which to me is a collection. I know some people have like 30 or 40 skeins of certain ones, but I just have a small collection, I guess. And this is a BFL silk, and it is in the color Will Never Be Royals, and it's by Neely's Knits. And she is so sweet and so awesome, and her yarn is just gorgeous. So if you haven't checked out her yarn, you definitely should. I believe she's on Etsy, and she has her own website. So those are all my knitted things. I do have, since I finished the blueberry waffle socks, I do have another pattern sock that I'm going to pick up, the driftwood ones that I am making for my husband from Mina's pattern, the Beyond Vanilla socks. I'm going to pick those up and work on those next, along with all this other stuff. And I've actually been really wanting, and thanks to everyone who helped with giving me ideas, to pick back up my crochet. I am not an expert crocheter by any means, and I definitely prefer knitting, but I think, I don't know, shortly after I started knitting, within the first year or two, I was wanting to make this certain pattern, and it was a crochet, and it was a little crochet coin purse, and I learned how to crochet for it, and I did a bunch of them as Christmas presents and lined them with fabric by hand sewing fabric into the crochet and then adding hand sewn zippers. They were adorable and a great way to use up scraps, and I haven't done any crocheting since then. I do basic stuff like adding crochet edges around neck bands and stuff like that, but I wanted to just kind of dip my foot back into the crochet thing, and thank everyone for suggesting patterns and different things. So I need to go actually buy a hook. I think I have a hook, a tiny hook for beading, and then I have one other crochet hook, and that's the only one, and it won't work for what I want to make. I want to do another hat for Hats for Grammy. I think a crochet hat will be fairly easy from what I've heard, and I have yarn for it. I just don't have a proper size hook. So because I only have one. So I might have to go and see if I can find a hook that will work for that. But then the next thing I have is Tour de Fleece spinning, because Tour de Fleece is, I guess, winding down. I don't know if it goes to the 21st or the 20, somewhere in the 20s. So I have maybe a week or less left. Not exactly sure of the dates, but I have been spinning. I wasn't spinning at all while my in-laws were here, just because it's, not something that I could do while we were hanging out. But I did finish my fiber Optic pencil roving. This stuff is amazing. I wish that she vended anything that I was near, because she did. I got this at Rhinebeck, but I won't be able to go back to Rhinebeck this year. I'll miss everyone there, but I love this. It was amazing to spin. It's gorgeous, the sheen on it, and this is for RYDERG123, and because I did the I think it was 1,000 member giveaway, and then I'm working my way, so the first person to reply, I'm going to do theirs first, and then after I finish this one, I will go to the next person and do theirs, and then I think that's Amy Loris, and then I think Lady M with socks, and just keep going down the line from there. So this is the first one. I need to apply it. It's resting because I finished it yesterday. And then actually up on the wheel right now, I was hoping to have it done to show you because it's stunning, but it is, I posted a picture on Instagram, let's see if I can find it. It is huge. I thought it was going to break my ball winder. And this is the one that I am spinning, and it's going to be a giveaway for the Patreon supporters next week, so I'll let you know who won. But that is just, I posted a picture on it, it's so stunningly beautiful, caked up, I couldn't even believe. And as I'm spinning it, or applying it, that's why it's taking a while, because it's so huge. It's gorgeous, and it's got the best of all the different hand-spun worlds. It has some parts where the blue and the blue meet, and it's just a solid blue, and then it has some parts where the blue and the gold meet, and it's stunning, and so it has this gorgeous barber pulling, and sometimes it's the pink and the blue meeting together and barber pulling, and you guys know that this year my color crush has been pink and blue. And it's turning out so beautifully, and I'm so excited. It spun so evenly, which was something I was a little bit worried about because I was going to be giving it to one of you guys. And it spun so evenly, and it's going to be a lot of yardage, and well, not like thousands, but it's going to be definitely a good amount of yardage. I think it would make a beautiful hitchhiker or one of the Martina Bim patterns that uses garter stitch to kind of show off the yarn. And I'm so excited to show that to you guys next week and do that as a giveaway for one of the Patreon people. And speaking of those, all the thank you things are either in the mail, have gone out yesterday, or they're going out Monday. I went and got more stamps for that, and then my daughter thought they were stickers, and so she put them all over the house. And I had to tell her, those are mommy stickers to give to my friends, and she was very sad that she could not have the planet stickers, because they were beautiful and she needed them. She was just trying to convince me to let her keep those. But, so that's with the spinning. And I don't know which braid I'm going to pick to spin next for the Tour de Fleece. And so, on to group news and enabling. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on in the group, and I'll just let you go over and check all that out instead of sitting here talking about it forever. But it's in the BookishStitcher podcast, BookishStitcher is one word, podcast group over on Ravelry, and the Justina Lorkowska, and the book and yarn swap. The sign-ups are going to probably be going up this week with a questionnaire for you and everything like that. So if you're interested in that, definitely check over for the Ravelry group this week. And then have a wonderfully exciting new giveaway to announce. So first I want to show you. Christina, who is This Dove Knits, contacted me on Ravelry and said that she had started dyeing yarn, and she said, would you like to go to my Etsy store and pick a skein for yourself and one to give away, which just blew me away. I've never had anybody contact me and say, go to my Etsy store and pick a skein. It was like, it's Christmas, happy day. So it felt like, oh my gosh. So I picked one for me, and I was trying to think, okay, what can I use to knit and really showcase off the beauty of her yarn, and something that I definitely will use, and what lower price thing, because she was giving it to me for free, so I wanted to get one of the lowest price things. And this is her worsted, and it is in One of a Kind number 3, and it's DoveDyeWorks. I posted a picture of this on Instagram, and this is going to become a cabled hat, because as you guys know, I absolutely love intricate hats. I love doing cables, but cables on a giant sweater take a while, so I feel like a cabled hat is the best of both worlds. You get the stunning beauty and the fun of knitting something very complicated, but it doesn't take forever, so this will be a gorgeous cabled hat. And then for you guys, I wanted to pick the prettiest one in the shop, the one that I thought was the prettiest. It's all subjective, right? But this came when my in-laws were here and I was opening it, and my mother-in-law was like, that yarn is delicious. So it's one of the most stunning yarns I have ever seen. And Christina, you are amazing, and your dyeing is fantastic. And you should all go to her shop, and she probably would do custom orders, I would imagine. I hope. But so you should all like go over there and check this out. But this is her chocolate raspberry swirl. Let's just appreciate the beauty. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh. It's so pretty, and it's a fingering weight, superwash merino nylon, 100 grams, 400. I just can't. Look at that, Christina, you're amazing. Can you tell that I like it? It's beautiful, and I actually showed this to my husband, and I said Christmas wish list, because I wanted the prettiest one to go to you guys. And so this will be a giveaway up on the Ravelry group. And oh, I actually forgot to ask her for a prompt. Okay, so prompt. Sorry, Christina, definitely go check out her shop. I should have asked her for a prompt. But I'm obsessed with TED Talks. Anybody who knows me in real life and has hung out with me, I always talk about them. But there was this one TED Talk that I was listening to recently, and it was talking about your like things that you want people to think of when they think of you, like your reputation currency or something like that. It's talking about how that's starting to matter more in life than other things. And so maybe pick 3 words that you would either think that people would say about you or that you would like people to say about you. And I was thinking about this a lot as I was listening to the TED Talk. Just look at this beautiful yarn. And it was saying, you know, all these different things, and I was saying, what would I want people to think about me or remember me by or something like that? And I was thinking maybe kindness and intelligence, and one to work on is I wish I were better at replying to things right away, or, you know, not getting overwhelmed and just being very on the ball, very reliable. I wish I was more reliable. I get easily overwhelmed, and when I become overwhelmed, I kind of shut down and I hide away from the world, which is not good, but I'm working on it kind of slowly. So I guess that would be my one more thing that I wish that I could change, that I'd be more reliable, because I'm definitely not as reliable as I wish I were. But there is the gorgeousness that will be the Ravelry giveaway. And she also sent some minis so sweetly. This is my favorite. But I asked her, because she was going to send me the yarns, I said, oh, can I send you a bunch of minis as a thank you? And she said, sure. And so I sent those off. But she sent me minis too, which is so sweet. And I need to put these in my mini blanket, which is now becoming like a 50-year mini blanket, because I only put in a couple squares a year. So next, for the Christmas in July, there was a Christmas in July swap that the sweet Melissa organized, and my partner that I had for the swap was Selma 123, and she's the 3rd Tangled Skein. And I was so excited to get this package. This is the card. I just realized I did not send her a Christmassy card. I sent her a giant Matryoshka doll card, but so I'd be okay. And it's filled with tons of writing on the back, and this adorable little bookmark, which is an owl, and I love owls. And then she made me a stocking, just so cute. And then I'll save the like awesome part for last. Well, it's all awesome, but she sent me some wild blueberry. Ooh, I should have used this in my tea. Wild blueberry sugar. Oh, that'd be amazing. That's so cool. I've already opened this package. I don't know why I'm acting like I haven't seen it before, because I have. But then she sent me some more tea, a whole bunch of tea. And I'm not sure what this is actually. I haven't opened it. It's a little bunny rabbit with carrots on it. And in here, oh cute, kind of, what, okay. Pretend I'm trying to hypnotize you. Look into the egg. You will feel very sleepy. But anyways, okay. That is gorgeous. Thank you so much, Selma. And then it is like Christmas. I got to pick yarn from an Etsy store, and there's a stocking with things hidden in it. So, ooh, maple candy, which I love maple. It's one of my favorite flavors. And then there are a couple more things. Beautiful minds inspire others. Also sweet. Magnet. And then some maple mints. Ooh, those are going to go in my purse. That was the magnet just falling to the table. And then last thing in here, blackberry and musk soap. That'd be great for travel. A little bar of soap. And then what I was so hoping when I saw that Selma was my partner, I was just like, oh, please, 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 I should write her and ask if she'll trade me anything for this, because I love her. She has just this she's so elegant. Like, if I had to pick a word for Selma, I would just say elegant. She just exudes this very elegant and simplistic, but in like the beautiful, simple, just very beautiful, minimal, gorgeous sense of style. And she has a bag shop, and I was like, oh, maybe I can ask her if I can trade for a bag, but she sent me one. Oh my gosh, yay. And let me see, in here on the bottom, if I can show you the label, it is Little Creek Designs. No, you can't really see that, but it's Little Creek Designs on Etsy. And the top is orange butterflies, and the bottom is blue butterflies. And I'm going to put my crochet hat project in here. I love this. Thank you so much, Selma. I don't know if she'll see this, because I know she's super busy. It's during the summer, but thank you so much, Selma. I absolutely loved my package. It made my day when it came this week. And I hope she likes hers. I'm excited for her to get it. I sent it off a little later than she sent mine off because flooding and sick children. But that is all for those things. I believe I'm forgetting something, but I always forget something every episode. I don't know why. I should do show notes, but then I would be like reading off the screen and it would sound very robotic, and I like to kind of fly by the seat of my pants. But have another sip before I talk about the book. I'm so excited about this wild blueberry sugar. I'll just tell you. Okay, so the book this week. I read this a while ago, and I went from earlier today being like, I have no book to review, to, okay, I have like 8 books I now want to review, because I started actually thinking about it. But I listened to this in audiobook format, and it's so funny because it has a very, like, people either love it or they hate it. And I was a lover, and if you were a hater, I'm so sorry. You know, everybody has their opinions, but it's just so funny to me how polarizing certain things can be, and I'm not quite sure of the reason for that. Like, I'd have to like talk more to individuals and get their opinions on people who didn't like this. But this audiobook that I listened to a while ago is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. And the audiobook was read by Will Wheaton, and he did a great job. And so the premise of this book is that it's very dystopian, so the world is kind of in trouble, and there is this mastermind, very wealthy guy who dies, and he leaves a kind of legacy of this quest. And the world has become basically virtual, and which it's not too hard to imagine that, as you probably have seen the crazy phenomenon of the Pokemon thing that has swept the world. I'm not doing it, but my husband was showing me videos of people running across places and stopping traffic, and there's been accidents and stuff. People, please be safe. If you want to do it, that's fine, but be safe. Don't injure others because you're after a Pokemon. Anyways, so it's a virtual world out there, and he's created this virtual quest where these people have to go through these gates and do these different things to unlock. And if you get to the end and beat the entire quest, you get his entire, because he's died, you get his entire, all his possessions, like his estate basically, and it's worth some crazy amount that I can't even remember now. It's definitely more than billions, I think, but it's something crazy. And there's a great class differential between like the lowest classes and the highest class, because it's dystopian. There are people living in horrible poverty, and the main character is a boy, and he is definitely in that horrible poverty level. And so he has an avatar online that he starts going through and doing these different quests, and there are other friends that he meets up, and they are doing the quest as well. Basically, a lot of people are. And the fun thing about this is that the person who died and left this giant thing that people have to solve was very obsessed with the 80s. So there are so many inside pop culture things. And I was too little in the 80s to remember most of these, but I had a big sister who kind of introduced them to me. So I didn't catch every reference, but I caught a lot of the latter. And some of them I believe were probably even early 90s. But I didn't catch all of them, but the ones that I did catch, it was so funny, and I thought it was well written. It's a very long, it's a pretty long book, but it flew by, which is so, rare for a bigger book. I love it when a book looks like a doorstopper, but it just flies by. And my husband, I've told him he needs to listen to this one because he's going to love it as well, because he is a bigger nerd than I am. And I love nerds, so I don't say that derogatorily because I love him for his brain so much. My husband, he's wonderfully smart, and I love having discussions with him. It's one of my absolutely favorite things to do with you, honey, as you're watching the podcast. But he knows that. But anyway, so this book was just really great. And if you can get the audio version that is read by Will Wheaton, I would definitely recommend it. Since there is such a disparate, it's so different what people have said. Some people love it, some people hated it. And so that makes me nervous to say, go out and get this book. But maybe check your library, see if they have the audio version of it, and to check it out if you're into the dystopian, if you're into books that are big but read very fast and are fun, and if you're into 80s culture at all, I would say that you would probably like it. But maybe don't go into it expecting the best book. I don't know, just expect a fun, interesting book. I know sometimes when I've been let down by books that have had huge hype around them, it's because I went in expecting like this amazing thing and found that for me it wasn't. And I think that was what I was saying with a lot of people that read this and didn't enjoy it much. But definitely give it a try if you have it on your to-read list and you haven't read it yet, or if any of those things sound like a thing that you would like. And that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. That is everything I have for today. I will open up a thread in the Ravelry group for the giveaway for this gorgeous piece of business. Go visit her shop. It's definitely beautiful. DoveDyeWorks. And it's on Etsy. And thank you again, Christina, so much for the giveaway and for really making my week when I got to go in an Etsy store and pick something out of. I can't tell you how happy I was. I was just like, knitter's dream come true. But anyway, so I hope you guys have a wonderful week and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye guys.